Good afternoon and welcome to Enlightened Heart Soul Connection for our second reading today. And it's not even really a reading. I'm just going to kind of channel what comes through because I'm thinking about individualization and how our path walking the earth right now is all about individualizing, becoming our authentic selves. And I just got off the phone I'm sitting here during a thunderstorm, listening to the coming in of a thunderstorm, and I just got off the phone with my girlfriend Jen, and she had brought up to me that she wanted to start a podcast where she and I interviewed guests, and we just talked about stuff. And I was like, well, what's the goal of this project? What is your motivation? What do you want to do? And she's like, I want to be of service to others. And I was like, well, my initial thoughts to this whole thing are that I have comfort zone issues with that. And she was like, yeah, I get that, not wanting to be on camera or whatever. And I was like, no, I don't, that's not what it is. I think my comfort zone issue that I'm having with that is that this isn't Jen. This is Jen and Naoma, and this project doesn't feel, it doesn't feel like individualization. So the core breakdown of this whole conversation, I felt like Jen was very upset by the end of this conversation because I'm very supportive of the idea of a podcast, but I was hearing things like, I have money in the bank. I like my job. I can do this now because of this. I can do this now because of that. And I wasn't hearing a lot of flow. I was still seeing a plan being strategized from a lack mindset, and how when we individualize, when we become our most authentic self, we now get to a place where my soul needs to expand, which means I might need to move. And if that means packing my car with a couple of boxes of things, leaving the rest behind, right? The 8 of Cups, the things that are no longer fulfilling. I have faith that no matter where I go, money is an energy, so it will flow to me abundantly, exactly what I need, when I need it, instead of, oh my God, I have to have X amount of dollars in the bank before I can take this step forward, and I need to know where I'm working, and I need to know where I'm going to live, instead of just allowing these things to flow naturally. Yeah, we maybe have to have a plan about where we're going to live or where we're going to work, but this all comes from the fear that we're going to be lacking. Okay, so what I'm getting is there's a shedding taking place quietly, subtly, or in full blaze, where your souls are asking, can you say yes to your truth, even if it means disappointing others' expectations of you? We are in a cycle where false harmony is breaking down. And I think about today, the puppies are 66 days old. 66 adds up to 12. That's 3. Creativity, harmony, in coherence with spirit. Keep that number in your mind. People pleasing is being burned in the altar fire of authenticity. The soul is not interested in consensus right now. It's interested in coherence. 66. And then I was telling her that, we have to get, in order to be able to get out of this lack mindset, we have to really, really get out of this lack mindset. We really have to change our perspective on what our worth is. So, not to tell too much of her story personally, but she's a waitress. She's been a server of some sort her whole life. She lives that role as mother, as wife, waitress, bartender, as server, servant. She's barely making enough money every week to support my dog habit, much less support her own state of being. Plus tips, and that's not enough to buy groceries with, not for one person. But you're still in a frequency of lack, so it's that as within, so without. So you're in a frequency of lack because you're constantly thinking about, well, I need money for this, I need money for that, I need money for the other thing. You're in that vibration, so you're attracting in these lower income jobs, these harder, you work harder to make less money jobs. And I was telling her the story about how when I decided not to go to Gary's, when I told my boss that I needed her to rip up my letter of resignation, how like within 3 weeks I was being promoted to salon manager and I was keeping my temporary raise. Like, I'm already in this mindset of I know what my worth is, and my value to myself is so much greater than my value to my job. Honoring someone else's vision and remaining true to your own deep rhythm. The temptation is to merge, to compromise, to soften your knowing. But the invitation is actually to stand in it, to risk being understood in order to be unalterably true. The message that is seeking to come through you. A new world is not built through appeasement. It is built through alignment, and only the aligned can truly serve. Only the rooted can truly flow. Support does not require sacrifice of self. Love does nothing but require merging. And service that costs your essence is not holy, it's hollow. So I'm getting the lightning tree as being a symbol for those that are in this situation right now. Like, a tree struck by lightning is not destroyed, it's initiated. Its core opens, its roots deepen, and what looked like ruin in a path for greater electricity, or what looked like ruin is a path for greater electricity. So you guys are the tree. We are the tree. This is your initiation into sacred individuation, not isolation, but revelation. What I'm telling you here is the core alchemy of self-worth and energetic frequency. It's a transmission for the collective to deeply receive right now. This is not about my girlfriend Jen. This is a parable. It's a pattern, an archetype. It's the wounded servant becoming the sovereign creator. "66 becomes 3. When your self-worth is rooted in how well you can serve others' needs rather than how deeply you honor your own essence, your external world will reflect servitude, not sovereignty. Listen to that again. When your self-worth is rooted in how well you can serve other people's needs rather than how deeply you honor your own essence, your external world will reflect servitude, not sovereignty. And that's the same thing with this YouTube channel. Like, I started this YouTube channel with the intent of trying to make some passive income, and I've gotten to 151 subscribers in about a year and a half, because I made the channel about the frequency of lack and not how to get into the frequency of abundance, because I didn't yet know even how to do that for myself. You can work yourself raw. Be a vessel of devotion. Love everyone around you and still barely scrape by. If your core vibration whispers, I'm only valuable when I sacrifice, and is that not so clearly reflective of the way that they teach Jesus in church these days, as you must humble yourself and become a servant in order to enter the kingdom, when Jesus clearly said you must first become like small children to enter the kingdom. Children are rebellious. Children do not inherently want to serve. They're rebellious and they're selfish and they live in their imaginations. This is the myth that I want to break. Not just for me, but as a living blueprint for other people. So your shift, your story, the moment you told, for example, your boss to tear up your letter of resignation, that was the cosmic declaration. That was Nancy Pelosi ripping up the documents in front of the House of Representatives, and within 2 weeks, COVID-19 happened. And COVID-19 was just a catalyst for greater change. I'm not giving up my power to survive. I'm anchoring my presence to thrive. So I stopped negotiating my worth with the system, and the universe moved because I moved first. Jen and those of you that are like her are still living inside of an old script. You need to change your paradigm. I'm worthy when I serve. I will be free when I have enough. This is a generational curse. This is the wounding that was left on us when we were children and we had to survive our parents. We had to survive our parents. We were taught that love was conditional, that we had to work for the love that we got. And that's wrong. That's wrong. We have to break that. We have to break that paradigm. And it's a paradigm for everything in life. So worth is not earned. Worth is claimed. And abundance, true abundance, flows to those who stand in their essence, even before the evidence appears. This is the vibrational law of as within, so without. We cannot build new worlds on the foundation of our old wounding. So, as the collective, I want you to really see this shift. So, if you've been living to meet the needs of others, if you've worn the roles of mother, lover, helper, healer, but your soul is weary, underfed, unseen, then hear me now. Those with ears, please hear, and those with eyes, please see. You were never meant to serve from depletion. You were meant to radiate from wholeness. The sacred shift begins the moment that you say, I deserve to receive. I deserve to rest. I deserve to create from joy, not survival. And then we reach the number 66 and why this 66 is relevant today. 66 is a sacred mirror vibration, doubling the number 6, which is the frequency of harmony, nurturing, embodiment, and divine service and balance. So let's walk into the archetypal temple of this number and let it speak. This is the path of sacred reciprocity. At its heart, 6 is the cosmic caregiver, the archetype of the hearth keeper, the nurturer, the embodiment of divine love in form. And when it appears doubled as 66, it carries a higher octave message. To serve others in truth, you must serve yourself in wholeness. 66 invites you to reflect. Am I giving from overflow or from depletion? Am I nurturing out of love or out of the need to be loved? Is my service aligned with my joy, or is it a contract with unworthiness? It's a call back to inner harmony. to rewire how we view service, success, and stability, to know that our value is inherent, not earned through martyrdom or over-efforting. In this way, 66 is not just a number, it's an initiation into sovereign service. You're not here to sacrifice yourself in order to help the world. You're here to embody your full self and let the world rise through your resonance. So imagine two interlocking spirals, each 6, dancing around a golden heart. One spiral is inward, self-nurturing. The other one is outward, soul expression. Together they form infinity of love in motion. It's the double helix DNA strand around the heart. So I know that this message isn't very long right now, but let's pull a card and then I'll read from the book some information that the collective needs to know right now. We're pulling from the Awakening Tarot and Elemental Approach. Oh my fucking God. Okay, so the card that we have is number 0, the Seeker, the Fool. At the bottom of the deck is the 4 of Water, the 4 of Cups. So the reason why I got so excited about this card, the Seeker, is because it's the Fool card. It's the Seeker's journey beginning. And the Seeker's journey was one of the cards from my last reading this morning. So the 4 of Water makes me think about, like, you know, the underlying messages here that we're missing the mark somehow. We're ignoring the signs. We're ignoring the symbology. We're making it about other people, and it's doing us a great disservice. And the Seeker tells us that it is time to jump on board with a new paradigm, a new path. I am ready to begin my journey and learn how to become my true awakened self through careful observation and experience. You're beginning a journey filled with excitement and adventure. Before you begin, take a moment to look beyond the concrete and man-made facade that envelops nature. By looking deeply and becoming aware of the birds, insects, plants, and weather, and all natural beauty that surrounds each of us, we can receive a spiritual information and confirmation about our lives. The signs are here to assist us on all our exciting paths and act as nature's GPS. In general, what does something new in your life feel like? Are you proud of a particular physical, emotional, or spiritual journey? And when you take a trip, how much is pre-planned and how much is spontaneous? So here's what I'm hearing. It's time to leap, but not blindly. Leap with awareness, leap with soul. You've been shown the signs. Perhaps the mind, the fear, the habitual attachments are clouding your vision. The 4 of Cups, you've been staring at the past or the almosts and missing the actual invitation. And what is it? To begin again from soul. To let go of the roles, the comforts, the scripts, even the old dreams, and follow the call of your deeper self. The Seeker's not naive. The Seeker is devout in curiosity. The Seeker's not running away. They're walking toward truth. And yeah, it might look foolish to those who are still clinging to safety, and yet it feels uncertain, but the path is revealed through the walking. Ask yourself this question: how much of my life is pre-planned? And how much is actually spontaneous? This is the axis of the entire energy. The universe wants to co-create with your bold yes, not the perfect plan, not the secured future. We get lost in the planning. The point gets lost in the planning. Just the yes, full-hearted, aware, and alive. And that's the message for today. So let's close this transmission with clarity, sovereignty, and soul integrity, okay? Because this is the truth that wants to rise loud and clear. Jen wanted a partner in her podcast, but what's being created is not rooted in the I am. It was tethered to the we should. And I feel like at the end of the conversation, she seemed very disheartened and a little bit upset because I'm constantly doing this to her where she thinks that she's doing so great and then she gets knocked down a few pegs because she realizes that at some point I was right. This is the distortion, because the creation from the I am, the soul's essence, the self's authenticity is never a compromise. It's a revelation. I'm not rejecting her. I'm choosing her as herself. I'm not resisting collaboration. I'm resisting the dilution. That's what's sacred. So I want to close this space by honoring discernment as a form of love. You're allowed to say, this vision doesn't hold the frequency of my truth. I bless it, but I won't merge with it. Not yet. You're not here to be absorbed. You are here to radiate. I return to the I am, the infinite, unshakable truth of my soul. I honor all partnerships, but I create only from wholeness. I choose the path of sacred sovereignty. I follow the call of my true name. And so it is. And so you are. Because I am you, and you are me, and we are the all. And I love you. Have a great afternoon.